Welcome, car stars. I'm Miss Hall, and welcome to your first lesson that is being presented by video. I want you to know this is the first time I've ever made a video, so I'm going to make mistakes. And if I make mistakes, I'm not going to stop this video every time and start over. So please bear with me. So if you're nervous watching this video and learning online, I'm nervous making these videos. So anyway, wanted to start the lesson by talking about the fact that teachers have objectives.
Hey, Lori. Where's the chicken?
Oh, honey, I'm making a video right now. Sorry about that. So teachers have objectives, and those are just big fancy terms for things that the students, you guys, are going to be able to do at the end of the lessons. I call them I-cans. So when you hear me say, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to, or you can do this, that's what the objectives are. So today's objectives are, or your I-cans, are going to be some science vocabulary words. And if you've noticed, I have a little friend right next to me. He's going to be helping me with this lesson. So the 4 vocabulary words that we're going to be learning today are the word observation. Now, there's 2 kinds of observations you're going to be learning about. One is called a qualitative observation. The other is a quantitative observation. And we're going to be learning about the word inference. So, my little friend here is going to help a little bit with those terms. So, with the word observation. Now, an observation is something that you can see, hear, or feel, or smell, or taste about an object. Now, if we look at my buddy here, we can make some observations about him. We can see he's a stuffed animal. We can see that the colors are orange and blue and white. It says Virginia down the side of his arm. He looks a little bit like a Beanie Baby, but he's not a Beanie Baby. He is a special bear that I like because of what it represents to me. Now, when we talk about the word qualitative observations, what we're talking about are something about its quality. You hear the word quality and qualitative. So we're really just going to look at him and say, oh, I see. It's hard to see. He's got black eyes. He has an orange face. He has a V over here on his ear. Quantitative observations are observations that you make that you're going to use some type of number. So, for example, I might take a ruler and I can measure how tall my friend is. And he's about 6 inches tall. So that would be a quantitative observation. Now, the other word that we talked about today was the word inference. Now, an inference is something that you think, but you're not necessarily able to just observe it. With an inference, it's something that you kind of figure out in your head. Maybe when you guys were looking at my friend here, you noticed that he was a UVA bear. Maybe you thought, Miss Hall must like UVA. And it's true. I do. I like UVA. I went to UVA, so that's who I root for. You also heard my husband earlier call and ask me for the chicken. Well, that wasn't an accident. I had him do that because I wanted you to see, I wonder, Miss Hall might have been irritated that her husband interrupted her lesson. It wasn't really because it was planned, but that could be an inference. If you kind of saw how I reacted when he interrupted me, you might have made a judgment on that, and that's an inference. So today, what we have been learning is those 4 words. Now, why are they important for science? Well, in science, a scientist is a person who is always asking questions and looking for answers to those questions. Now, an inference might lead a scientist to think something might be true, but they might not necessarily be able to prove it. You might have thought I was mad at my husband for interrupting me, but I wasn't really. Again, I planned that. Scientists actually have to use their inferences to come up with these questions and make some guesses or predictions about what they think an answer to their question might be. But it's only after they make observations based on fact that scientists can prove an answer to their question. So today, you should be able to, your ICANNs would be to be able to tell what an observation is. And remember, an observation is something that you can see, hear, feel, smell, or taste through your senses. There's two kinds of observations. There's qualitative, which means something about the object, like its color. Quantitative is also a type of observation, but it is based on a number, like how heavy it is or how long it is. And then an inference is something that you think from your background or your prior knowledge. You can't prove it necessarily, but it's something that you think from what you know. Thanks for participating. See you next time.